Hello everyone, welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you news about a 9th District Court decision on concealed carry weapons in California, news that the Clintons are involved in a possible conflict of a university scandal, news of a special council meeting tonight, campaign news, endorsements for Clinton, today's gas prices, weather, sports, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News Crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Whitnick. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. In anti-gun news, we get this report. A ruling with the potential to vastly expand the number of California residents permitted to carry concealed weapons in public was overturned by a federal appeals court. The U.S. Court of Appeals in San Francisco on Thursday set aside a 3-judge panel's 2014 ruling that San Diego County's process for determining who qualifies for a permit to carry a concealed weapon violates the constitutional right to bear arms. The 7-4 decision is a loss for gun rights advocates, including the National Rifle Association, who have attacked some of the nation's strictest public carry laws. An 11-judge panel took up the case after California Attorney General Kamala Harris asked for reconsideration of the earlier panel's ruling that any responsible, law-abiding citizen is entitled under the U.S. Constitution's Second Amendment to carry a hidden, loaded gun in public for self-defense. The earlier panel found that San Diego County Sheriff overstepped his authority when he concluded an applicant for a concealed weapon permit didn't demonstrate good cause to carry a Colt 1911 .45 caliber pistol in public. In California, people that want to carry a concealed weapon must provide a reason to get the permit. And a reason that they just want to be able to protect themselves is not enough. There has to be a better reason. In California, every chief law enforcement officer sets their own criteria in justification, and that criteria varies between law agencies a lot. There are some agencies that basically issue no CCWs at all. Then there are some that are more reasonable. Luckily, we here in Ridgecrest and Kern County have reasonable chiefs of police and a sheriff that doesn't fear an armed population. They issue CCWs very reasonably, but still in compliance with state law. Our surrounding counties are reasonable too. This lawsuit was meant to take away that justification requirement, and that a CCW should be issued to any qualified person. Almost all other states only have the requirement of passing a background check to get one. Kamala Harris, our current Attorney General and now running for Senator, is against CCWs. Now we wait to see if the decision will be appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. In university news, I know everyone has heard about the Trump University court case. Well, did you know there is an even worse university case involving the Clintons? Well, there is. Did you know that Bill Clinton was a university chancellor? Did you know he was paid $16 million by Laureate International Universities to be their honorary chancellor? Laureate International University is the parent company of Walden University, a mostly online, for-profit diploma mill that is facing the same kind of civil suits and fraud allegations as Trump University. Laureate Education has been sued over such programs as its Walden University online offering, which many have alleged is a scam designed to bilk students of tens of thousands of dollars for degrees. Students say that they were repeatedly delayed and given added costs as they tried to secure degrees, leaving them deeply in debt. The respected insider Higher Education Group reported that Laureate Education paid Bill Clinton an obscene $16.5 million between 2010 and 2014 to serve as an honorary chancellor for Laureate International Universities. While Bill Clinton worked as the group's pitchman, the State Department funneled $55 million to Laureate, while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. That would seem a pretty major story, but virtually no mainstream media outlet has reported it, while running hundreds of stories on the Trump University scandal. There was even a class action like the Trump University scandal. Travis et al. Versus Walden University LLC was filed in U.S. District Court in the District of Maryland, but dismissed in 2015. However, the size of the contract to Clinton, the payment from the State Department while Hillary was Secretary of State, and the widespread complaints over alleged fraud should warrant a modicum of attention to the controversy. So far, only Fox News has run the story. Not a word from the liberal-leaning media. The controversy has many of the familiar complaints over fraudulent online programs that take advantage of hardworking people. Some of the disgruntled students have made claims about high-pressure sales tactics and poor quality instructions that sound exactly like the complaints against Trump U. So, let's hope the mainstream media gets fair over this whole university situation and for the Clintons. In other presidential campaign news, the Love Fest has started for Clinton. Thursday, all the big names started lining up to support her since she has become the presumptive nominee for the Democrats. Yesterday, President Obama, Vice President Biden, and many others started offering their support for her election. Elizabeth Warren is being looked at as the attack dog for Hillary. In an attempt to allow Hillary to take the, quote, high road during the campaign, she has enlisted Warren to be the one that will level the dirty attacks. The Love Fest also was over the top with all the liberal-leaning media. I've been watching almost all of the main networks like CNN, MSNBC, CBS, NBC, and ABC, all just raving over Clinton. And every one of them have been putting pressure on Sanders to drop out already. Of course, most people have expected the majority of the media would do this. On Monday, both Clinton and Trump have more or less announced the beginning of the campaign for November. Obama plans to campaign with Clinton in Wisconsin Wednesday, following the former Secretary of State's launch of the general election battle in Ohio on Monday and in Pennsylvania on Tuesday. Clinton's team announced her joint appearance with the president in Green Bay to discuss building on progress we've made and vision for America. It seems weird Clinton would stick to her proposal to continue the Obama policies when 66% of the public think those policies are headed the country in the wrong direction. Also on Monday, Trump has announced a speech to lay out all the issues of the campaign, pointing out the weaknesses of Clinton's proposals. You can be sure there will be a continued battle between them about who is the most qualified and who has the right temperament to be the president. The fur will fly over these issues. The polling has just started now for the race. National polling shows Clinton with a slight lead over Trump, but within the margin of error. In Pennsylvania, they are tied. The polling that will be most important as they head towards November will be the polls in important swing states. Those are Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Florida. Early numbers are showing Trump gaining significant ground in blue states such as New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. Anyway, it's going to be a long 5 months to November. I just wish the media would get more fair and balanced in their coverage of the campaigns. Now stay with us. After the break, we'll have some city news. Thanks for staying with us. In city news, the Ridgecrest City Council will be taking up the 2016-17 budget again tonight. The special meeting of the Ridgecrest City Council is called to be held tonight, June 10th. It will be held at 5:30 p.m. in the City Council chambers. Note the time is 5:30 p.m. versus the usual 6 p.m. This special meeting shall be for the purpose of continued discussion of the draft preliminary budget for fiscal year 16-17 and the opening of budget hearing discussions. The budget will now have to move through the approval process pretty quick, as state law requires the council to approve a balanced budget by July 1st. So probably more special meetings will be coming. In news from the Ridgecrest Police Department, they will conduct a driving under the influence and driver's license checkpoint and DUI enforcement operations saturation patrols today. The Ridgecrest Police Department traffic unit will conduct the checkpoint at an undisclosed location within the city limits between the hours of 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Ridgecrest Police Department's driving under the influence enforcement team will also be deployed to stop and arrest alcohol and drug-impaired drivers in the department's ongoing traffic safety campaign. DUI saturation patrols will also deploy between the hours of 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. in the areas with high frequencies of DUI collisions and/or arrests. The deterrent effect of DUI checkpoints is a proven resource in reducing the number of persons killed and injured in alcohol or drug-involved crashes. Research shows crashes involving impaired drivers reduce by up to 20% when well-publicized DUI checkpoints and proactive DUI patrols are conducted routinely. DUI checkpoints are placed in locations based on collision statistics and frequency of DUI arrests, affording the greatest opportunity for achieving drunk and drugged driving deterrence. Locations are chosen with safety considerations for the officers and the public. In California, this deadly crime led to 867 deaths and over 23,000 serious injuries in 2013 because someone failed to designate a sober driver. Officers will be looking for signs of alcohol and/or drug impairment, with officers checking drivers for proper licenses. The exercise is expected to result in only momentary delays to motorists. Specifically, trained officers will be available to evaluate those suspected of drug-impaired driving, which now accounts for a growing number of impaired driving crashes. Recent statistics reveal that 30% of drivers in fatal crashes had one or more drugs in their systems. A study of active drivers showed more tested positive for drugs than did for alcohol. Of the drugs, marijuana was the most prevalent at 7.4%, slightly more than alcohol. Everyone should be mindful that if you're taking medication, whether prescription or over-the-counter, drinking even small amounts of alcohol can greatly intensify the impairment effects. Law enforcement emphasizes the preventable nature of drunk driving, reminding everyone all it takes is a little planning ahead. Designate a sober driver or call a cab. But whatever you do, don't drink and drive. The Office of California Traffic Safety, DD-VIP, Designated Driver VIP mobile app, is now available for free. Download on iOS and Android devices. Remember, the solution is simple. Don't drink and drive. The life you save may be yours or even another family member or friend. And if anyone sees a drunk driver, call 911. Try and provide the license plate number if you are able to get it. By now, most of you have probably heard about the court case from up north where Brock Turner was convicted in March of assault with intent to commit rape, an intoxicated or unconscious person, penetration of an intoxicated person, and penetration of an unconscious person. Well, the judge, Aaron Persky, only gave him a 6-month sentence. The prosecution had asked for 6 years, and the maximum could have been as much as 14 years. However, the judge only sentenced him to 6 months. And with early release programs for model inmates, he could be out in 3 months. Because he was sentenced to less than a year in custody, he is being held in the Santa Clara County Jail in San Jose. He is in protective custody with 1,100 other inmates. Inmates with sexual assault convictions are typically held in protective custody because they are believed to be potential targets for attacks from other inmates due to the nature of their crimes. In addition to the 6-month sentence, Turner will have 3 years of probation and will have to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. It is reported that he intends to leave California for his home state of Ohio after his release. He will have to register as a sex offender there. In Ohio, he would be prohibited from living within 1,000 feet of a school or child care facility. Each state has its own laws. The victim of the rape was a 23-year-old woman. The case stirred millions with her impassioned statement describing the aftermath of the assault. Turner was caught by students on the campus. The victim in the case praises 2 students who spotted the assault while riding their bikes. They actually saw the rape occurring and reacted in her defense. They tackled Turner and held him for police. The woman will remain anonymous for now, she said, in a statement released by her lawyer. She said, "I remain anonymous, yes, to protect my identity. But it is also a statement that all the people here are fighting for someone they don't know," she said. "For now, I am every woman." Her testimony in the case stirred everyone. Reports were that many in the courtroom were crying that listened to her testimony. So what's next for the people upset with this sentence? Seems there have been hundreds of thousands of signatures on petitions calling for his removal. Some are discussing a recall campaign to remove him from the bench. Some are calling for the state assembly to impeach him and remove him from the bench. The judge has offered no comment to anyone about the case. Now, KZGN continues effort to provide news and information you've asked for. Here are today's gas prices for Ridgecrest and some surrounding areas. Well, since my last report, local prices have held steady. As of this morning, Ridgecrest is ranging from $2.53 to $3.05. Lancaster from $2.69 to $3.09. The LA Valley area $2.59 to $2.89. And the Bishop area $2.74 to $2.99. We have one station at $2.53 per gallon and one at $2.54 per gallon. Tune in Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for updates. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally to support our local economy. Remember, when you pay sales tax out of town, you're helping those cities pave their streets instead of here. Now stay with us. After the break, we'll have weather and sports. Thanks for staying with us. Now here's Lane with the weekend weather.
Thank you, Tom. From the National Weather Service, scattered severe thunderstorms are expected today across parts of the northern Rockies and northern plains. Additionally, strong to severe thunderstorms are possible across southern portions of the high plains and across parts of the upper Midwest. The main threat for severe weather shifts to the east to Minnesota and Wisconsin Friday. Temperatures across the nation: Carolinas at 76, Georgia at 90, Arkansas at 91, northern Texas at 86, Arizona at 93, and Los Angeles at 67. And for us locally, tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 70, south-southwest wind 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 95, south wind 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts as high as 15. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low around 64, southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 91, southeast wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low around 65, west wind 10 miles per hour. Monday, sunny with a high near 95, west wind 5 miles per hour. Monday night, mostly clear with a low around 67, west wind 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. And Tuesday, sunny with a high near 98, west-northwest wind 5 miles per hour. And that is your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom.
Thanks, Lane. Now here's Tom Heck with sports.
And a very pleasant Friday early evening to everyone. Let's talk about, first of all, the NHL last night in the Stanley Cup Finals in Pittsburgh. All the Penguins had to do was win one more game. They had a 3-1 lead, but the resilient San Jose Sharks came back. They won the game by a score of 4-2, and the series now 3-2 with Game 6 Sunday at the Tank in San Jose. So just when you think the Sharks are finished, the fork's in them, all of a sudden the Sharks are right back in the thing. Now you got to give credit to Martin Jones, their goalkeeper. He had 45 saves last night. That ties a playoff regulation game. In other words, there was no overtime for the amount of saves ever in an NHL playoff game. That's amazing. All right, let's talk a little bit about the NBA. In just a few minutes, we'll have game number 4 from Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, with the Cavaliers down 2-1. Kevin Love not able to play tonight because of concussion symptoms. If Cleveland can win tonight, they would even the series at 2 games apiece with game number 5 Sunday in Oakland. All right, let's talk about baseball. The Angels lost to New York last night, 6-3 in the Bronx. In fact, they were swept. They lose all 4 games in New York City. Now, the Angels started the trip pretty well. They won 2 of 3 in Pittsburgh, but lost all 4 in New York. And now the Angels trail first place Texas by 11 full games. Also last night in Major League Baseball, Miami, Don Mattingly's team, in the hunt in the National League East. They're a winner. The Mets win, the Rockies win, Orioles, Cardinals, also the White Sox get a win. The White Sox had a horrible last 3 weeks. They have dropped under 500, the team that led the AL Central. Now tonight, Cleveland will beat the Angels. Cleveland got roughed up in Seattle the last 3 games. The Angels then will play Minnesota next week before going on the road again. And right now, the Rangers have a 3-game lead over the Mariners in the American League West. Now the Dodgers are 4 games back of San Francisco. The Rams signed Jared Goff, their brilliant quarterback from Cal, to a $24.9 million contract for 4 years. I hope he's worth that. And today in Louisville, as Thursday, funeral services for Muhammad Ali, the greatest boxer that ever lived, perhaps, a great showman, a world champion, a guy that many remember just for the way that he handled himself and was self-confident, helped others, humanitarian, was laid to rest in his native Louisville, Kentucky. Ali, the former world champion of boxing, and We'll always remember him with his interviews with Howard Cosell, and who could ever forget his victory over Sonny Liston when he was just 22 years old and became the world champion. That's your sports for this Friday. I'm Tom Heck. Have a good weekend for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. Also, KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Now stay tuned for Ridgecrest Talk, coming up next.